Is Prana, Chi, or life force being used to fake a alien invasion? So before I start, there is a video I put together about Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace. In fact, recently they've credited Alfred Russel Wallace as a co-founder of the evolutionary theory. I believe that Alfred Russel Wallace was plagiarized by Darwin, and I've put that in a video. So, Alfred Russel Wallace believed in a life force, an odic force, what the ancients call Prana Chi. It was also called ether. And I believe that the Orr-Bar wave is central to that understanding of this unseen force, which I believe is going to be wheeled out as an alien invasion when we see it again. This is what the unveiling is about, the revelation or the dissolving of the veil. So it's just higher frequency Earth, a higher magnetic field, which then illuminates what is now at the moment unseen, and they're going to fake an alien invasion. So Wallace believed in it. A number of other leading scientists believe in a life force. That what they probably don't believe is that it was once seen. That's what they probably don't believe in. They believe that there's another force. You can see it as I covered in my other video in the stomatoscope, which is a microscope that works in the infrared field. But that's another video that someone needs to. You really need to have a look at that video rather than me ramble on about that for this video. So, the Illuminati are fully aware of, as far as I'm concerned, they have to be fully aware of it. In fact, I wrote to NASA many years ago, and I did have a response from them, but I, for the hell of me, can't find the correspondence that I entered with them. And what I was suggesting is that I could explain what they were seeing in space. So obviously they didn't want that explained because they want to peddle out their own alien invasion. And so this is where the video will start. Is Edgar Mitchell. Obviously he's recently come out of, I don't mean the closet as such, but maybe the closet, I don't know. 90% have seen unidentified flying objects, and he's one of them. And he believes that these are UFOs or some sort of alien ships. He endorses the Roswell effect. But of course, this is what the Illuminati want to deliver. I mean, you only have to look at the Disclosure Project, and they're all ex-military, CIA, and they're all pushing for this alien invasion. You have to look at Hollywood pushing for this idea of an alien invasion. So whilst they're denying the disclosure as such, they're actually putting the people in place to force the disclosure. I mean, it's like a double bluff. I mean, you've got the informers, the disinformers, and the informers and the disinformers. They control all the sides of the argument. I mean, you have a look at Dr. Steven Greer's Illuminati handshake. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to realise that we're being fed a load of rubbish. So Edgar Mitchell, the sixth person not to walk on the moon, as I'll just put it in there then. So what we have is why he would have formulated these ideas. Well, obviously he's been into space, all the limits or the boundaries of space. Let's say that he's been to the moon. But obviously from those transmissions from that Canadian broadcaster, we've seen things like the tether incident. Now, the tether incident is, well known. You can do a search, but what it looks like is a biological environment in space, and that's what it is. These are not UFOs as such. This is a biological ether in space which is seen because of the higher magnetic field. You're closer to the Van Allen belts. The Van Allen belts illuminate this stuff, the stuff of creation, the ether, the prana, the chi, whatever you want to call it, the life force, the all-bar wave, and in fact the Canadian researcher into this talks of the two phenomena, which is one is the rod and the other is the orb. And I've shown in my other videos how the orb converts to the rod. So what they've done is they've taken this prana chi life force and then they're turning it into the alien invasion. So what is not surprising is one of the big suppressors of mankind being religion. And I'm not talking about a hatred of any divine being such as Christ or Buddha. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the organization which wants to control our minds through, a punishing and hateful God. We are all sinners, So the Vatican now is obviously maneuvering and manipulating itself into a position where it says that aliens could exist. So this is an article from 2008. So they're preparing us for it. So they're creating all sides of the argument. This long-term alien invasion. So we've got Edgar Mitchell spouting off and telling us that, he's not saying, what I've seen in space could be prana, chi, or life force, like the ancients said. He's telling us it's aliens in spaceships, like George Lucas has told us, like the Illuminati Hollywood have told us, like the War of the Worlds have told us. And now the Catholic Church is coming in, playing its hand of suppression to the millions of its followers. Here's a little article. The Vatican astronomer says that if aliens exist, they may not need redemption. Well, they certainly wouldn't need redemption from the Catholic Church. And then you get further articles, and these are just fed through the years, I'd love to baptize E.T., says the Vatican Stargazer, right? So now you have the Vatican are known to have an infrared telescope, so they can see things in the infrared spectrum. Orbs are seen in the infrared spectrum. All you have to do is take a night vision goggles or an infrared camera and go and film them. That's why the night security cameras capture so many orbs. They're not aliens in spaceships at all. It is the Earth's natural energy of prana or chi, and it interacts with mass. And now we have the Vatican, who are observing this phenomenon in space, telling us that it's ET. They should be ashamed of themselves. They are disgraceful people. So anyway, there's my rant, and I'm going to rant and rant and rant because I'm absolutely fed up of my brothers and sisters being misled. If you want to test anything of what I'm saying, get yourself an infrared camera. Go and have a look out in the woods. Go and take some photographs with flash of orbs. You will then get patterns and processes that I talk about. Don't trust me. I'm not asking anyone to trust me. You can trust your television, and you can trust what is fed through you through films from Hollywood, if that's what you want. But the time for that is not now. So anyway, someone who's been following my work for a few years, or maybe a few weeks, I don't know, had seen the geoglyph similarities to the orb. And she pointed me in the direction, so I thank her again. There's the Vatican bronze sculpture. And of course, it's so funny so they're feeding in this alien invasion lie. I baptized one. I'd take confession from an ET. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we invaded the planet Zog the other day. But seriously, I mean, they're not the people to be confessing. They should be confessing to us that their actions, the indigenous populations that they wiped out, the children they have abused, the money they've stolen from the poor. That's the confession that we should have. Anyway, this is a piece of art outside the Vatican. Very nice. What does it all mean? What are they trying to say to us? Well, it's just another one of those Illuminati mind control prepping us for it. So what we have, I put this little collage together. It's the brainwashing of the Star Wars phenomenon. The Death Star. And we have the sphere that's breaking down outside the Vatican. And these are just Illuminati constructs of mind control. So what they want is the alien invasion, so they're going to give us it. They're going to start feeding us in this life force prana and how the actual universe really works, and feed us into a false paradigm. So below those two non-natural constructs of the illusion, which are at the top of the image. At the bottom of the image we have the planet Mimas, and it's got like a hexagonal impact crater. If you have a look at it carefully, you'll see how the two edges point together to create two different types of shadow. So it's not a round impact crater, it's a hexagon, a pentagram, or whatever. And these are natural forms within the geometry of the universe, the electric universe, and with its unseen fields. And so what I've done is there's an inset of an orb breaking down. This is your Prana chi or life force. This holds electric charge, and matter gets fused to it to form planets, not gravity. We also have another orb with its distinct real shape that if you dare to test it out, you can go out and take photographs and you'll get these images. It's observable, it's empirical. This is denied, manipulated by the Illuminati. Thus they deliver plausible explanation. So what they're giving is, what I'm saying in this little photograph, is they're delivering a half a truth. Yeah, they do look like those two images of the Death Star and the sphere at the top. Yeah, they do. Prana does look like that. Chi does look like that. That's how the secret of Hermes, the primordial soup of energy and its transmutations. Of course they know this. I mean, they have all the historical records anyway. But what they want to do is they want to lead us and trap us down another little trap. We were trapped for years, with this punishing God. Thousands of years. The church kill off the Cathars, the Spanish Inquisition, burn of witches. All these intuitives who were in connection with what they truly are were persecuted. They don't want that. So anyway, then we move on to the artist who created these things, and I've shown this before in another video, but what that is that's the top image is overlaid by two images. One of those is a geoglyph which are thousands of years old by our ancient ancestors. So the breaking down sphere. And below it is the orb that is seen in space and the orb that is seen on Pontypridd Common. Just to give you an idea of they're seeing this in space, and now they're misleading us and telling us that it's going to be a interesting time. And so one of these sculptures, not surprisingly, are outside the United Nations. So the United Nations, we can unite the nations, unite the army under a one world war. The final war, the alien invasion war, they're saying that these spheres are alien spaceships. And of course, what do we have? We have Butcher Scali and the permanent representative of Italy to the United Nations. Whether that's still the case, that was taken in 1996. So there's preparation for this alien invasion. They absolutely know this stuff exists in space. It is illuminated because it's closer to the magnetic fields of the Earth, the Van Allen belt, so it gets illuminated more. This is why they've built so many infrared telescopes. They're all over the place. Well, they work best at high altitude or cold climates because you get less interference. So generally, you'll get them at the poles. And of course, any giant orb coming to the planet, it's only going to be seen in the infrared spectrum. So Nerebo could actually be just an orb. I'm not saying it wouldn't electromagnetically change the Earth's charge, but it could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I know that orbs deliver energy and they convert energy, and they're a process of delivering energy through a biological universe, and therefore they could deliver energy to the Earth. Anyway, going off topic.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war?
So what we have is, a UN address or whatever. We got the spheres, we got the alien invasion outside. We got people brainwashing us, telling us that the aliens are going to invade us. Of course, now, if you understand that they understand the processes, or certainly understand what this Prana Chi or life force will look like through their infrared data that they're pulling in from their telescopes, from broadcasts from space, then you can feed that into a mechanism which is another half-truth. And so we have the day the Earth stood still, and we have these massive spheres entering into the planet. And to me, that's a reality. Obviously, they're not alien spaceships, and obviously they don't contain all animals, although, again, it can contain what look like biological processes. So what I have here is the stereo images of the sun, and I just want to show you what we will or can expect. The sun now is in output, and if you have a look at the zoomed in image, you've got a line of orbs being output by the sun. It may not be that clear. And also what we've got here is an account where the sun was outputting orbs, bars and waves from the end of the spora minimum. Ties into my research data. So this orb bar wave process has been seen before, and it's the unseen becoming illuminated by charge. Recently we've seen an orb attaching to the sun. It's got a couple of strands there. I don't know whether you can see that because it's not the clearest of image. Probably what you'll see is a black sphere where the energy from the orb is not allowing any of the sun's coronal mass into it. So actually it's strong enough not for that to sort of repel the coronal mass that's coming off the surface of the sun. So another orb attached to the sun. So we know that they are real. We know that they're seen in space. And the ancients understood this, and they understood this prana, chi, life force. And just to give you an indication of why they want to muddy the waters, why they want it as an alien invasion, the last thing they want is for humanity to understand their connection to this energy, and how that energy can change the whole nature of the way the earth functions. Now, a lot of people who've never heard of Reiki or Chi masters, this is the majority of the West basically, won't understand that humans actually interact with this energy of creation. This is a warning to anyone who's seeking personal power through working with energy. The spirit world is to be avoided, because that spirit world is the same world that the Illuminati use, and it is full of deception. If you can bypass the spirit world and tap into, just be like a plug that plugs into an electric socket, without desire and ego, you can work with this stuff and do tremendous things. Most of those things, apart from the occasional movement of an object, cannot be tested. So it could be that nothing is really happening. So I did research on this. Now there are 10 million websites, 10.5 million websites of about chi, how to make energy balls, how to work with energy, and the controlling elite do not want us to relearn these ancient ways. They want us to think that this is aliens in spaceships, and they've done a bloody good job. So the thought of chi, prana, life force being aliens in spaceship is so ridiculous to me. But obviously they can manipulate it, because when this stuff is seen again, you know, as the orbs are beginning to be seen, more and more of the alien invasion we're being sold. So in the day of the Earth, it still is an alien spaceship that comes down to reap havoc. You know, Keanu Reeves is now touching it like an energy worker, and he's feeling the energy from this chi ball or psi ball or whatever. And this practice is a half-truth, because they're not alien spaceships. It's just the natural energy of the Earth. The enclosed photograph that's just come up is 4,500 years old. It's called a petroglyph. It is painted with a white biodegradable paint. So people think that, oh, that's just a painting. It comes from the Scandinavian Rock Art Society's website. They paint them, photograph them, and then clean them off. So these ancient energy workers in the Golden Age understood this. It's only when the magnetic field declines that we enter this Kali age of the demon. And so what we have is the Egyptians working with energy as well. This is from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And so from this film, they're telling us that this natural energy, unseen for the moment, is this alien invasion. And this is part of the next enslavement for mankind, if we're not careful. So what we have is Bronze Age orb weavers, as I call them, They're waving to the energy of creation. That creates a vibrational link with it, and it manipulates the energy. There's actually little stick men throwing all balls to each other, and there's a bit of energy work that in certain conditions, when I'm working with energy, my hand will glow, as the Bronze Age energy workers did as well. That may be probably equally as confusing as the alien invasion. Probably the alien invasion is more palatable. But it's just a chi energy worker. Reiki, if you want to call it that, although I don't think they're paying these vast sums of money to learn this. I've taught children how to use this energy, or at least how to feel it. It's in everything. It emits from the heart in a spiral, emits from the ends of leaves, plants and trees, and if you're quiet enough inside yourself, you can feel it all around you. So I want to go on to this next. Some of the things I know are pretty insane, right? But this next bit of insanity. Dr. Maggie Aldrin Pocock envisages creatures that float through the clouds of methane, scooping up chemical nutrients into the gaping mouths. So there's this alien jellyfishes now. The aliens keep themselves aloft by means of dangling onion-like buoyancy bags. Now the thing of this is the usual thing of the Disclosure Project. They're all from the Space Agency or CIA or whatever. So Dr. Aldrin Pocock, a leading scientist with the European space company Austrum, said our imaginations are naturally constrained by what we see around us, and the conventional vision is that life needs water and is a carbon based. Some of our researchers are doing exciting work playing with the ideas such as silicon-based life forms. Silicon is just below carbon in the periodic table, and some chemical similarities is widely available in the universe. So again, the alien, not the thing that we're linked to. The aliens now in space. They're jellyfish-like. And of course, this is another, half-truth as such. What we have is, in our section of data, we have jellyfish orbs. Now, they've got the strands that hang down from them. You can see the double jellyfish effect I've put up. And they have the strands hang down. Now, if these were illuminated by a change in frequency of energy on the Earth, we would be thinking that we were again being invaded by what H.G. Wells tried to sell us, which is this alien on long legs or jellyfish type of alien being. And of course, they're all Illuminati centered. They're all there just to confuse and try and maintain the control, because the one thing they do not want people who can work with energy as the ancients did, outside of working through ego. Working through ego will take you to the spirit world, and the same world that the Illuminati work with. The Illuminati think that they're dealing with gods. They're dealing with demons, unfortunately. Most people won't even believe in demons and that. Again, I think there was an Al Pacino film, and he said the greatest con the devil ever did was to make everyone think he didn't exist. I don't personally believe in the devil. I just believe in man's ego, and the demon is created out of the hungry ghost or the lost soul. These are trap souls. But of course, when you connect to that spirit world, they're going to be telling you that they're the gods of the ancients. They'll tell you anything just to manipulate your mind, and That is why the Illuminati, in my other video, are the most abused people on the planet. They think they're talking to gods, but they're actually talking to demons. Anyway, so this stuff that's seen in the sky, what we have here is a painting, 4 strands. We have an orb with 4 strands pushing to the ground. And, again, it'll be understood as some type of alien spaceship or whatever. But of course, as I say, the Prana Chi or life force is the fundamental driving force of creation. We got pictures of orbs and cells as a comparison for people. I got so much data on it now that I don't need to don't need to even question it anymore. I've done enough time on it. I know the similarities to it. You can see it in those videos in space, and you can see why the Illuminati want to manipulate us, because where we move to is we move out of the prison that's enslaved us by the psychotic, the demonically possessed world leaders who surrender their soul to what they believe to be the gods. Unfortunately, they're nothing more than a type of possession. And you can test that out. You can see whether God actually talked to Blair and told him to invade Iraq, or George Bush, And these are only the puppets. Even the puppeteers have their Illuminati channels that channel information through them. You only have to have a look at the works of Pike and all the other channels that have come through. So this final image is the oldest fossil evidence, mixed in with the orb, and Brain went to spot the difference. I mean, there's not much difference. If you said, well, which is the orb and which is the fossil, probably the only thing that would give it away is that one is a photograph and the other is a line drawing. Although there's the simplest construct of life in the planet's oceans, which is the bottom corner, and it has the geometry of the hook web orb. So even the patterns of the way that the orb works, life forms on it. So it's a biological universe. These are the ancient gods that gave energy to trees. Attached to the hand, give energy to the healer, creating heat for the healer, and you can put it into damaged parts of the body. They wouldn't want that either. And this is how the part of the web process works. So next time you're looking at an Illuminati alien invasion type of film, just remember it's part of a process of your conditioning of your mind. And as long as you can watch it from that point of view, you're fine. Just be aware, that people are trying to capture your soul and enslave you. Unfortunately, we are at the point of unveiling. So everyone should stay calm and keep your eyes open. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.